Nice rainy day. Just looking out the window of my workshop. Got a really cool cedar out there. A couple of oaks. Yeah, nice rainy day. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Bonsais Forever. So today, I want to share something with you guys. I got a new tree. I have one already, but this one I'm pretty excited about. I go to garden centers all the time, big box stores and stuff, and get nursery stock, and I turn it into bonsai trees because it's such an easy, quicker way, I think, to make bonsai trees, because the tree's already been growing for however long the nursery had them before you get it, which, who knows? It could have been a year, it could have been 5 years. There's really no way of telling how long they've had it. But it increases the size of the tree that you can get started with. If you've got trees and you get cuttings and stuff like that, that's also a really cool way to get trees. It works out really well. But you get it at the garden center. They've already done most of the work. So I picked up this guy. Let me see if I can get it in the light. I still haven't replaced the light that broke. But yeah, this looks like a really nice tree already. I've got kind of a low-hanging branch here, which I might incorporate that into the design. I've got some branches underneath here, but it's already got a really nice shape to it. Maybe a couple of pieces need trimmed, whatever, and it needs to be put into a bonsai pot and then just cleaned up, because they already did all the work for me. And this was not from a bonsai nursery type garden center. This was from a big box store. So there's ways to find really cool stuff just out there all over the place. Seeing this in the background, it's a bonsai starter kit. I'm gonna be doing a video on that here next couple of days, I think, because it is planting season. So I'm gonna do a video on that. Another way to get started in bonsai. I think the easiest way to get started in bonsai is to buy a pre-bonsai or a tree that's already bonsaied. That's the very easiest, because then bam, you got a tree. It's in a pot. It's ready to go. You can already enjoy it and learn about it as you're watching it grow. So anyway, let's get to work on this tree. I'm gonna take it out of the pot. I'm not gonna take the soil off yet. Grab my tray here. I'm gonna move it off of the stand. So basically, with the garden center pot, you're gonna use the palms of your hands and hit the sides of the pot just a little bit. Firm enough to break up the sides of the soil, not firm enough to damage anything. You don't want to break the pot or anything like that. And then I'm going to grab the trunk of the tree, and the branches on this are really flexible. So I'm just going to grab the trunk of the tree and kind of wiggle it out of the pot here. Just like that. And as you saw in the beginning of the video, it is raining, and my sprinkler system did go off this morning. So this is saturated with water. So leaving it like this isn't going to hurt it. Even if it was a really hot day, leaving it like this is not going to hurt it, because the water is absolutely soaked. The roots on the outside will probably be removed. So definitely do what is right in your area. If you're in a very dry, arid area and it's really hot and sun is beating down on you, protect your tree. So let's go ahead and see if I can see in here to clean this out of foliage now. All right, so I'm gonna take off some of the larger ends of the branches here. So right here, I'm gonna bring you in and drop you guys down here. Let's see if we can see this. I really need to get another light, don't I? Because this light up here it's good. It's brighter than the other light that I had up there, but it's just not. It just doesn't cut it. So I've got this branch kind of going off to the side. This one's going off to the side. This one's going off to the side. I don't know if I need this to drop down that far. I kind of like that it's dropping down that far, but this up here definitely looks better. Now I can wire this and wire one of these out to where that makes the end. Probably do this one, but these branches are super small. Not very easily wired at this point. So I do have a tiny little piece right here and here. So I think I'm going to cut it back to this little piece here, and that will grow out this way. And that takes off this ugly end. So this was obviously pruned once before. So that definitely cleans that up a little bit. I think I am going to take this piece off. So I got some new shears. I got these off of Temu. They are not expensive, but for the price, these things are phenomenal. I got like 5 pairs so that I can do classes, and each person can have their own shears. So that's why I got the cheap ones. Somebody breaks it or loses it, no big deal, right? But they've got a super sharp point, which I really like that. Over these ones. These ones are obviously smaller, but the point is a lot sharper, and I don't know. I'm really impressed with these scissors for their price. I think they were like $8 or something like that a piece, which is pretty awesome. So anyway, I'm not sponsored by Temu. It's just I want to give you guys a good reference of where to get stuff, so that you guys can be successful. I mean, if you're not buying it from me and you're getting it from somewhere else and whatever, that's totally cool. I mean, I don't sell scissors yet, so there's a bunch of foliage right here on this curve inside here. So I'm going to take some of that out. I want to... Where was that branch I wanted to keep? I think this is the one that I wanted to keep on the other side of the tree. Okay, so I'm going to take some of the lower stuff off as well, I think. Alright, I'm going to use a flashlight to see in here. I want to look at the trunk to make sure that there's not an inverse taper, because if there is inverse taper, then I'm going to want to leave some of the lower branches on it to thicken up the lower part of the tree. But I think that this root right here will help that out, and it doesn't look like too much inverse taper at all. So I think I am going to trim these back, trim these off. They're very twiggy little branches, and they're kind of on the inside of the curve here. So I think I like this piece, so I'm going to leave that one, see what that looks like. Because that leaves this right here. And I'm going to trim the bottom stuff off of it. I really hope you guys can hear me. It's raining pretty hard now. I think it's a lot less noisy than the greenhouse was, though. Alright, and I'm going to trim this piece off, going off to the side there. I'm going to try and propagate some of this. That would be really awesome if I could get some of them propagate. Alright, so I got those off of there. I'm going to work on the other side here. I'm going to pull out some of the small crotch growth. My fingers here. Trim off these tiny little twiggy branches. Okay, so this branch I want to keep. This branch I'm not sure if I want to keep that or not. It's kind of... You know, I might be able to bend this one over here. I'm all about keeping as many branches that I can possibly keep without trying to regrow stuff after I chop it off. That's kind of a tactic that I've learned from some expert bonsai artists. They've said that, you know, the tree's already grown the branches and you're trimming it up, cleaning it up. Why get rid of the branches that it's already grown that you're going to want later anyway? You know, just leave them there and use some wire. Clean it up and then wire it out. Put those branches that the tree's already used its energy to create where you want them, and to, you know, and keep the branches that are going to increase the health of the tree. Alright, so I think that looks pretty good right there. We'll look this over. So I really like this piece of the branch. I'm not too sure if I like the under pieces here. So I kind of want it to kind of come out. So I'm going to take the branches off the bottom of this branch here. And we'll see what that looks like. Yeah, I like that. Because now that's this branch here. It's all cleaned up underneath. And now I can bend this with some wire and I can put it like right here. Yeah, I really like that. That'll go with the flow of the tree. Alright. Now I'm gonna go up to the next branch, which is gonna be this. Let me see if I can get all this out of the way. It's gonna be that section of the tree. A nice fluffy branch. I really like that. So now I'm just going to make sure that I'm trimming up the crotch growth in there, and I'm going to put on my glasses so I can see. This whole time I'm like, why can't I see anything? Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to look, take off the tiny little twiggy branches and the crotch growth here, which I thought that was, cut that one in the wrong spot. That's okay. Alright, so I'm going to take off the little twiggy branches in here. And this is why I like the really sharpness of these scissors, because I can really get in here tight and get really small stuff out of here. I'm really hoping you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm going to bring you in closer here, because this is a small tree. There we go. And I can work on it nice and close with y'all in there close. I'll just have to talk a little bit softer so that I don't yell at you guys. So this has got a branch comes up here, comes off this way, and comes off this way. So I like this pieces here. I'm trying to see, I don't want this end on here. That. And I don't like this going that direction, so I'm going to cut that back. There we go. Now I open this up, so this has a space to be. I'm not fond of the end of this either. I'm going to chop it right here. And these scissors have a little bit of strength to them too, which is really nice. Alright, I'm going to try not to bump the camera. Okay, so this piece has a small branch coming off here, which I don't like. Looks like it was trimmed back a while back. But yeah, that cleans up that. This branch, actually that was on this branch, not the branch I'm working on. That's okay. I didn't like it anyway. It is okay to go back to other branches if there's still stuff that is in the way of the branch that you're working on. Alright, so let's see. Alright, so this piece here is growing out of the, I'll take this piece off too. It's growing out of the crotch of this branch. So I can either keep this branch and get rid of this branch, or I could keep this branch and get rid of this one, which I think I'm going to do that. There we go. That's a nice little branch though. That looks nice. Make a nice little tree. Alright, now I'm going to take the top pieces off the interior here to give space in between the pads here. I'm going to cut this back. Alright, so now this can end up developing into a pad over time. As I let this grow out, I'll probably wire it over in here. There we go. Open up a little bit more space in there. Alright, now I'm going to try and get in the here and take out these little pieces. I think I'm going to take out this piece too. Then I'm going to rub off the other tiny little pieces in there. Alright. So that'll look really nice. Okay, so I'm going to take the end of this off also, because I broke the other branch off of the inside there. Alright, now as this grows, eventually I'll wire it off this direction so it'll fill in here. That looks really good. I think I like that. I could even take this off. I'm going to leave it for now. I kind of like it. I'm going to leave it for now. Alright. I'm going to go up here, take the end off of that. Clean up this. Alright. I think the rest of this looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and clean up the far interior pieces in here that are right up against the trunk on the branch. And open up some space with a very small foliage, taking that out. The small unhealthy foliage that's going in the wrong directions. One thing with small trees, it's really hard to get my giant fingers in here to work on them. I used to say when I was a mechanic that, you know, God blessed me with being able to work on cars, and then he thought it would be funny to give me big hands. He's got a sense of humor. All right. I kind of don't want to take all the interior growth out because I've noticed that a lot of junipers, adult junipers, have a lot of interior growth, and as the tree grows and it doesn't get enough sunlight in there, a lot of that stuff does die off. But I don't know if it's that important at this point to take that out. This tree is very healthy, and I am cleaning it out enough that I think that it's going to get plenty of light in here to keep those lower interior stuff like these growing. I think it'll be okay. Now, if you're working on a really large tree that it's blocked out and you can't see on the inside of there, taking that stuff out is beneficial because it does take away from the energy that the rest of the tree has to grow. So it is beneficial to take some of that out on a larger tree that you're trying to grow out, or a smaller tree that you're trying to get larger. Any small unhealthy growth definitely takes away from the other branches that are healthy. So taking that stuff out is a good idea. But in this case, this whole tree is really healthy, growing really nicely, and I want to keep it small size. So just cleaning it up is going to be perfect. So now this is the branch that I was talking about coming down like this. I do like this. I like the fact that it's dropping down like that. So I think I'm gonna leave that for now. We'll see how it looks once it really starts getting some more growth to it this spring. Which I think spring is almost here, guys. A lot of my trees are starting to leaf out. Really exciting. This has got tons and tons of back budding. So right in here, I'm taking the undergrowth off of these. The stuff that's growing on the bottom of the branches. Because that I don't need. I won't need that in the future either. So speaking of bumpy guys. So speaking of undergrowth on the branches, the stuff that's growing on the bottom of the branches. Now, if you are wanting to change the direction of a branch, or you want it to go from going upwards to swooping downwards, leaving the lower growth on the branch, you can take, like, see right here, there's some undergrowth right here, and it's actually starting to look, it's growing upwards, so it's looking pretty healthy right there, right? So if I wanted to cut this branch back, that's where I would cut it to. I would leave this, and then I would cut it back to that, and that starts drooping down. So now looking at this, I like how this looks right here. I don't think that I want to cut it back. No, I don't want to cut that back, because I'm going to let these pieces start growing out. So I don't think I want to cut that back, do I? Give this branch a little bit more room. So that's actually not under the bottom growth. That's a side branch. So that's not going to work anyway, even if I did cut it back to that. So if I did want to cut this branch back, I could cut it back to here, and then this would be the new end of the branch right here. So I'm going to leave this for now. Going to leave it for now. I'm going to take out some of this stuff here. I'm going to make sure not to have too many branches in here. And this is actually growing on the bottom of the branch, so I'm going to take that off. That was a large enough branch that I should have cut it with scissors. You can go in and feel the bottom of the branch and feel where the undergrowth is and take that off with your fingers most of the time. Alright, so I think that's about it for trimming this back. What do you guys think? I'm going to take a little bit more off of this branch in here. Not this one, you stay. Take the inside stuff out. Like that. I don't even think I trimmed this branch at all. Here comes the thunder and lightning. All right, I'm going to trim the tip of this off. So junipers, I've noticed, they don't typically die back, so you can cut the branches like right up against where you want it to grow from. All right, so now we can see the base of the tree. We can see all the branches, and if y'all have stayed this long, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Noticed in this day and age, people don't watch longer videos and stick with it. They'll fast forward through everything and all that stuff. So anyway, if y'all have stayed, I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so right here is a good healthy root. I can feel it in the soil. So what I'm going to do with this tree, I'm not going to waste my time with trying to dig all this out. I don't think. Do I want to? Do I not want to? All right, so I'm going to speed this process up a little bit. I'm going to grab my scissors. I'm going to just go through and trim the bottom of this off. These are actually a decent pair of shears. Only thing that I didn't like about these is the fact that they rust really easily. These were box store shears too. If y'all are new to my channel and don't know what a box store is, it would be like, here in the US, it'd be like Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, stuff like that. That's a big box store. It's you know, everything that's there is manufactured. There's not much that's handmade or anything like that. So I call it a big box store because everything's the same. So anyway, so there we go. So that looks pretty good. Now I am going to clean this up, and I think I'm going to put it in this pot. So this is a bowl that I found at the thrift store. Drilled a hole in it with a diamond hole saw and my drill, and then right here I made a relief in the rim of the bottom here so that the water can come out as it's on the bench. If you don't do that, and your bench is nice and flat where it's at, this section will hold water in your tree and it won't drain out very quickly, and that's a problem. You want the water to be able to come out. So I make a relief. Some of them I make a couple of them. This one I'm only going to make one so the water can come out. That's really important. Now this one I'm not going to tie it in because I didn't drill enough hole, or I didn't drill the holes for tying it in because the bottom is pretty small and I'm putting a really small tree in it. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm going to put this off to the side so I can clean the roots out of that and reuse the soil. I am going to take, I think I'm going to take all the soil out of here. It is still early in the season. The roots will be able to, I mean, there's a ton of roots on here, really nice roots. So I'm not going to worry about the tree suffering from bare rooting it. Now, like I said earlier, if you're concerned about that with your trees because of where you live, definitely do what's best in your area. My channel is to try and help like as many people as I can with learning bonsai trees and just enjoying bonsai with y'all. But like I'm gonna teach you what I can teach you, but obviously you have to do your own research for your area, because I mean I'm in a subtropical area in Florida, and I mean it does get down into the 20s during the wintertime, so I can talk some about winter protection, stuff like that. But I mean it is typically really humid here, which is amazing. I love it. And it is warm enough most of the time that I can do a lot of work that you wouldn't be able to do during the wintertime other places. And I also can do work that you might not be able to do in a really hot, dry climate or a really cold, dry climate. So just keep that in mind when I'm telling you guys what I'm doing. So this has got some really thick roots on the inside here. So that's why right here is a really thick root. Can't get through it. I'm gonna see how much farther down I can bring the nabari on this tree, actually. Because I do want to bring it down to thick roots, because there's a big root right here, and then that big root that's coming right off of the trunk. A lot of these roots were not really wrapped around, which is great. I like that. Okay, so I think that's, oh, that's a really big root. Alright, so I am going to take this really big gnarly root off of here. Where are you going? This one's wrapping around a lot, actually. So I'm going to chop this one back quite a ways. Now remember, when you chop back a large root, like, I mean this is large for this tree, not huge, but it's large for this tree. When you chop a root back like that, the other end of this is going to produce more roots. So it'll create more ramification, which this is all ramification. So it'll create more ramification closer up to the tree, which would be more beneficial for the tree anyway. And then I've got, so I was wrong. Some of these roots are really tangled up right up close to the tree here. Down here they weren't really tangled at all, which is great. It is helpful. I'm just kind of working my fingers through the roots, and you can feel where everything is going. Just be nice and gentle. We don't want to break and tear and rip the roots right here. I just kind of want to work through it and untangle them. So this part, have some patience. Don't rush through it, because like I said, this is a nursery tree that has been grown in a nursery pot in soil for however long, probably a couple of years, because this is a lot of roots. And these trees do grow roots relatively rapidly, but I mean, this is probably a couple of years of root growth here. So with that being said, you don't want to just rip through a couple of years of progress. Just like with the branches, you don't want to just chop off all the branches and then, start over. I mean, the tree has produced those branches over the last couple of years. So, same with the roots. You don't want to just get rid of all the progress that the tree's made to this point. Starting over is, sometimes it's necessary. I mean, I agree with that. Sometimes it is necessary. But also, if it's not, then why do that, If you don't have to start over, don't. I guess is what I'm getting at. I really prefer just to be able to enjoy my trees right away. So I am kind of impatient, but I'm gonna take the time where it's necessary to be able to enjoy my trees right away. This thing has some awesome roots. And just so you know, these roots are still very moist at this point after working with them this long. Find where this root is. Alright, now I'm going to take this really big gnarly root back. I'm going to find out where it starts on the tree. Then I'm going to go back as close to the tree as possible without taking off too much. Now it's really raining. Alright, so this one, wow, this root's craziness. Okay, so this root comes out of the bottom of the tree, goes down, wraps back up this way, comes over here, twirls around a little bit, and comes over here. So I found it inside here at the end of my thumb, where it kind of, I found where it starts at the tree. It starts clear over here on the tree too, so it goes like that. I'm going to go down to where I feel some roots just before it starts curving this way. I'm going to cut it off right there. And being careful not to get my fingers in there too. Now this, I'm going to rip it out I'm going to rip it out, but it's going to be gentle, because damaging this root, not a big deal. Damaging these roots by pulling this out, that is a big deal. So yeah, this is crazy. That's where it started, so it looked like this in the tree. Crazy, huh? So that's one thing with keeping a tree in a nursery pot for a long time. It's going to grow, or junipers mostly. I mean, this does happen with other trees, but junipers do this a lot. They grow to the edge of the pot, and then they'll curve in. Who knows? This might have been in a really small pot, like I don't know, like one of those little pots to start off with, and they put it in a bigger pot and a bigger pot. Something like that, possibly. So it could have had curvy roots already. I think I'm going to hang on to that. I might do something with it later. I don't know what, but I'm going to hang on to it. Anyway, so this is the next one I'm going to chop back. I'm looking at a good set of feeder roots coming off of it, which is right here. Has a good set of feeder roots, and all the way down here has good feeder roots. So I'm going to cut it back to close to those upper feeder roots right there. That definitely helped out a lot. And then the rest of the roots, you can try and make them more of a radial root base, because it's really beneficial to the tree to have the roots going all the way around the tree, right? So that looks really good. I think I've gotten most of the really big roots out of here. There's one more large root right here. I'm going to follow that back into the tree. Unwrap that. Alright, so it bends right here. I'm going to cut it off just above the bend. Just like that. And that doesn't take off a whole lot of feeder roots, but it takes off a solid root. Alright, so that looks really good. That looks really, really good. That's plenty of roots for this tree to do well. It's got some light colored roots, which means that they are starting to grow for the year. So that's really good. I'm going to take off the really long feeder roots down here. Just trim those back a little bit. This thick root. Cut that back a little bit. There you go. So yeah, that looks really good. Loving it. Alright. So now, move all the dirt out of the way. Shake that off a little bit. I'm going to use the chopstick. I'm going to just kind of run through the roots. See if there's any pieces that were broken off that are still just stuck in there. Also to kind of comb them out so that they're not tangled up. That's perfect. So this is that root that was on the surface right here. This one here. This one's kind of going underneath of it. I might be able to get that out of there. Get that out of there like that. There we go. Now this root is coming out of the tree down here, and then it's curving up and going around this way. Don't want it to do that. So right where it stops going straight here and starts curving up, that's where I'm going to cut that off. And that did not have a whole lot of feeder roots on it anyway, so that gets a big chunk out of the way. Gives the rest of the roots space, and it also keeps from girdling over here, so we don't want to do that. So having roots crossing over other roots and getting large, it could potentially choke out the other root, or it could potentially choke both of those roots out. And in a juniper, the way the roots work is each individual large root feeds a certain part of the plant. So if I chopped this off, this whole side of the tree could die. So when you're cutting roots back, you want to be careful with that. As a cutting, I think it's a little bit less important, but it's still important. So watch out for that. All right. Try and set that over there without dumping it. Brush myself off here. All right. So, fun part. So we're going to take a screen that I've already pre-cut. I have a bunch of screens that are pre-cut. So normally I don't wire the screen in the bottom of the pots. Seeing if I have a smaller screen. Yeah, what I was saying, normally I don't wire the screen in the bottom of the pot. I think I'm going to in this one, just because of this particular situation. The bottom of the pot is pretty small, as you can see. It's pretty small. I don't know if you can see the lights. There we go. Anyway, so I'm gonna use a piece of wire to wire this in. I'm gonna cut about that much wire, however long that is. I don't have a measuring tape right here, but anyway, about as long as my thumb. Then I'm going to twist it to make a loop like that. I'm gonna twist it the other way to make a loop like that, just like that. And now I'm going to take this end, bend it straight out, take this end, bend it straight up. So now I've got a little doodad like that. Now, and if they're straight, and having them straight is kind of important. I mean, don't be a perfectionist on it, but having them pretty straight is kind of important. Then you're going to take your screen, center it in the bottom of the pot, and you're going to take this and put it at both edges of the hole. Both edges of the hole. Proper English here, guys. Just like that. Actually, I'm backwards, sorry. I don't wire my screens in very often. So I'm going to go from the inside with this part like this. You guys can see that. There you go. So I'm going to go from the inside like that, and then on this side I'm going to bend these over, kind of twist it like that, bend this one over, twist it the other way. It doesn't have to be exactly like that, but that's typically how you see it done. Alright, so that's good. Now I'm going to take the soil, fill it in a little bit in the bottom of the pot here. And because I did bare root this, I don't want too much soil in there so that I can fill the roots in. Just a bit too much. I do want soil in the bottom of the bowl here. And I'm going to want this tree to sit right about there, to where all the roots are just below, except for this one coming off. And then I'm going to use my fingers before I start putting soil in, and I'm going to push the roots down into the bowl, or the pot, whatever we want to call it right now. And then I'm going to look at the tree and see what kind of angle I want the tree to sit at. I kind of want it to be going upwards, but I kind of want it to tilt in the direction of the curve as well. So about like that. So now I can see that there's a couple of roots that are going to be sticking up. I'm going to cut those off really quick. I hope you guys aren't bored by this point in the video. So let me know if you made it this far in the video. That'd be really interesting to find out. And also, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Because that's definitely helpful. Really appreciate all my new subscribers recently and all that. Alright. So there we go. Oh yeah, so some news. I finally got my computer figured out. I'm not very tech savvy. I know I've told you guys this before in my editing and all that stuff. And anyway, I finally got it figured out how to the stuff off my camera and put it onto my computer. It's kind of an advanced computer. I got it on sale and thinking I'm doing really good. I got a gaming computer that's a laptop. I don't do any gaming. I just thought because it was a gaming computer it'd be a lot faster and, you know, easier to use, and boy was I wrong. It is faster, but man, easier to use, not easier to use. So anyway, I had one of my friends over that does gaming and is computer, I don't know if he's a computer genius, but he's good. He's really good at it. Come over and helped me out with everything and got the right cord to plug into the camera and the computer. So I got a new editing program for my computer. If you guys want to know what program I got, you can ask me in the comments and I'll let you know. It is a free program. Seems to be really cool, but it is not like the one that I had been using. This one's a lot more advanced, and so there's going to be a learning curve on editing. So hopefully I do a good job. I'm not going to do anything crazy right at first while I'm learning it, and then who knows, maybe I'll do some really cool editing stuff later on. Well, hopefully I will. Hopefully I will, because I really want to be able to do that. So I'm just going to work this soil into the roots really nice. I might cut some of this out. This is something y'all have seen many times, and other channels show it too. So I'll probably cut this part out, or the rest of this out, and show you when I get done with this part. All right, you guys. So I got this all. I'm gonna bring you guys up. There we go. I got this all repotted and set in the pot here. Really hope it looks good to you guys. I mean, that looks great to me, so it should look good to you guys. Such a cool tree. I'm gonna be right back. Oh yeah, that's much better. So I think when I show off the tree, I'm going to use the screen because all my tools are back there. So it's really hard to work on a tree with the screen back there. Once I get it done, I'll show it off like this, though, I think. So yeah, that's looking really cool. I'm liking it. So this, let me see. So the bowl has a design on it. I don't know if I can get it to where you guys can see. Yeah, there you go. So it's got a design on it. So I'm going to make this the front, although I don't normally make a front of my trees. But if there's a design on the pot, or a tree looks better in one direction or the other, I'll make that the display side. I guess I'll say it like that. It'll be the display side. But like I always tell you guys, I don't like one-sided trees. So I'm going to make this displayable from any angle so that I can turn the tree, you know, different times a year. I'll turn the tree to where the sun is focusing on different sides of the tree to get different sides to do what I want it to do, and different growing. So eventually, I don't think I'm going to do it today. Eventually I'm going to wire probably this branch right here, and I am going to wire this branch over here. I'm going to let the tree recover first from all this work before I wire. I'm going to let it start growing a little bit later in the spring. Once the roots start taking hold in this pot, that's when I'll do the wiring. So yeah, I really hope you guys like this. It's awesome. Alright, so I think I'm going to end the video right here. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate y'all's support. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to check out the Amazon wish list in the description. I'll see you on the next one.